Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
Okay, Alana, if you can get over the allergies, I'm loving the Utah spring. It's beautiful outside.
We just power through them this time of year.
It's true.
We're coming out of that winter hibernation. We are so excited for the spring warmth, and it is gorgeous. We hit the 70s in Price. That's where you're looking. Live view from Castle Country, and it is stunning. As you look towards the bluffs and the mountains, you're able to see, though, a little bit of haze. We've kind of seen that throughout northern Utah. High pollen throughout the state, and that stays that way for the next several days in northern, southern, and eastern Utah. We would need a storm to move on through, and I'm going to tell you right now, we don't see one through the close of the work week. We know the winds will pick up, too, into the weekend. I'll show you why. Satellite radar with that northwest flow in the last few hours, a little bit of cloud cover sneaking into northwestern Utah, impacting portions of the Wasatch Front, but that's really the only thing that's going on. We're going to allow for that high pressure to really gain control, and that's going to bring above average temperatures, and we're seeing that right now. 69 in Salt Lake, 67 in Logan. We've got 70s in the Basin, Castle Country, the I-15 corridor. Throughout central Utah, gorgeous in the Four Corners area, Blanding at 75, and it's now 86 in St. George, where the average high is right around 73, 74 this time of year. So yeah, we've catapulted above those temperatures. As we get through the next several hours, we'll see the 60s in the Salt Lake City area with mostly sunny skies turning to clear conditions by ABC4 News at 10, upper 50s expected, and we're dry. High pressure seems to do that too, comes out swinging and really pushes any bit of moisture around us. Live view from the Black Desert Skycam, that's so pretty. View from Ivins, upper 80s there today, and that's been the case in Washington County with those numbers climbing into the mid to upper 80s. We even intensify with those temperatures as we head into our Thursday and Friday. This ridge of high pressure is going to build, and it's going to really impact the desert Southwest. The Beehive State is part of that, and we are unseasonably warm and get this stretch of days with quiet conditions. As we look at temperatures, often we see record potential when it comes to this type of heat. There could be some records that fall, but in our major cities like St. George, we won't quite get to the mid-90s. Well, we don't anticipate it, expecting the low 90s for Thursday and Friday, but that would be our first 90-degree reading of the season, of the year, in St. George. What about the north? How about some 80s? It will be the first time we saw those this year, expecting 80 degrees. We'll be close to the record on Thursday and close on Friday. So the Wasatch Front, if we get into the 80s, will be right there on the line, and we could see a record fall. High pressure seems to do that, and that ridge is really in control. Clockwise flow in the desert Southwest with the warming as we get through our Thursday and Friday, quiet conditions. Saturday, the winds are going to pick up, and as they do, that southwesterly flow will blow that dust, and we pick up ahead of a cold front that's going to move on through. That front, it looks strong, but it also looks rather dry, moisture starved, so we're not expecting a huge wet weather maker, but we will see cooler air filtering in, and by Sunday it will be a drastic temperature drop. Doesn't look like we stay cool. No, we'll actually bounce back pretty quickly. We are going to be close to average, but it won't feel that way because of the fact that, well, we got a little spoiled. Futurecast keeps us quiet with our northwest flow. Watch the red arrows here. This is southwest flow, and we see that really take over Thursday into Friday, which will support our above average temperatures. Wet weather potential, well, it remains very low, even with that cold front coming through. Regional forecast for tomorrow could go 80. 80 in Salt Lake, 70s for the remainder of northern Utah, 81 in Moab, 91 in St. George. Let's look at the St. George 7-day here. They stay dry, and with the average in the low to mid 70s, gosh, we don't even get close to that. We're way above that Thursday and Friday. The winds pick up Saturday and will drop into the 80s, but even the coolest day on Sunday and then again on Wednesday stays above the seasonal high and average for this time of year. As we look at the Wasatch Front, 80s turning to 70s, and then there's that cold front. It's defined, and it brings in the cooler air, dropping us to the 50s. We bounce back. We could see some wet weather next Wednesday. We could not. That's going to be an interesting spring stretch here. A lot of people excited about it, and they love it. I do love a little bit of spring rain, but it's okay. 80s are going to be really interesting if we hit them.
Yeah, find me on my roof. Yeah. I'm going to be taking in the sun rays. I'm so excited.
I'm going to San Diego this weekend.
Oh.
It's going to be warmer here than in San Diego.
I feel like, you know what? You should stay in town, DG. What does he need? You don't need to go to Cali for the sun.
I got to rough it in San Diego.
Okay.
Santiago.
Said no one ever.